Well, hello again, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and I am host of Radio Entrepreneurs. And, this is the new reality. We are increasing listenership every day, every week, as people are tuning in to find out what companies are doing to stay in business, to reposition themselves, to pay their taxes, to keep people off the unemployment lines. And we're pretty excited to give you that data as we're learning it ourselves and share it with you all the time. And very proud to say that my co-host for this segment is the one and the only Evan Macedo from FEI and Sapers and Wallach. Welcome.
Thank
Evan.
you, Jeffrey. It's great to be here. It's great to keep supporting our community and our friends and colleagues around us.
Right. Well, FEI is a great partner to Radio Entrepreneurs, and we look forward to speaking to all of our CFOs throughout this year and sharing their information of how they're helping their companies succeed in this new reality. Our next guest, someone that you and I have known for just a short amount of time, but she's quite dynamic, Kourtney Corcoran, a CFO of Concord Foods. Welcome, Kourtney.
Thank you, Jeff. Good morning. I'm happy to be here today.
Well, in a time when companies are facing a new timetable of adapting, that's externally focused at a pace that's very different, you joined Concord Foods as the new CFO. So you had a double sort of, it was sort of like being parachuted into a war zone, I would assume. Can you tell us what it's been like for you?
Sure. I mean, that's a great way to say it. One of the things that I've found is that coming in at this time, it's been, a challenge really getting integrated into the company because we have a lot of people here from a corporate perspective that are remote. So it's one of the things where you really have to use things like Microsoft Teams to make sure that you're getting face-to-face time with people. We do have some key people in corporate that are coming in, and we're really starting to alternate schedules too, so that we have as few people here as possible. The other side of it is the plant. So really trying to get in and see what's going on and learn the processes there. And making sure that we're using, social distancing and those types of things in our plant to make sure that everybody is safe. So it's been a whirlwind as well.
Interesting. Evan, do you have any questions that you want to jump in? I don't want to ignore you when you're not just a pretty face.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jeff. I certainly know that. But you just mentioned you just started. It's it's been a month or so that you've been the CFO. How have you been relying on some of your advisors or your network or any of your team of colleagues around you to help you get through all of this?
Well, that's the other thing that we're dealing with, as you know, is this whole set of new rules around, the CARES Act and, trying to get some of these SBA loans and things like that. And really, the FCCA Act where people are, able to utilize time, and there are all sorts of guidelines around that. And so really, we've been reaching out to folks that I'm connected with from FEI and also RSM and other professionals in the finance community to really help guide us because, as we all know, it changes all the time as well. So getting the interpretations and the guidance from those people has been really, really helpful to me and the other folks at our company.
That's fantastic. And I have one more question. I know you said you have some employees that are working from home and you've been using Microsoft Teams, which has been good, but I imagine not all of your employees get to work from home. What have you been doing to, prevent COVID-19 in any of your plants?
So what we do is everybody in the plant is required to wear a mask. We have all of our plant employees working utilizing social distancing. So everybody is 6 feet apart. And then we're also taking temperatures when everybody comes in the door and when everybody leaves the door. And I would say that we're also doing that on the corporate side. So everybody is wearing a mask. If we do have meetings where we all join together in one room, we are keeping that 6 feet distance from each other. And on the corporate side, we're also taking temperatures when people come in and when people leave.
Well, that's really great to be doing all of that, and I know that it's vital for you guys to keep the flow of food going to these grocery stores. So that's
So
fantastic.
now with that in mind, thank you, Evan. And with that in mind, Kourtney, why don't you, because these are small segments, tell us the segments that Concord Foods are in right now so that people understand what food products you're bringing to market.
Sure. So we have 4 different brands. We have the Concord brand, we have the Oranger brand, the Tempo brand, and the Ready Made brand. And so Concord is really our retail brand. And so there we're doing juices and mixes and spice seasoning packets. And so that side of our company is really booming right now. We've got a lot of products. We've got banana breads, we've got muffin mixes, we have caramel and candy apple wraps. All of that, even our seasoning mixes, our plant is running 24 hours a day on some of that stuff. So we have a first, second, and third shift. Our Oranger brand, which is more food service and or industrial, has, flavorings and syrups and things like that we would be selling to large coffee chains, large other multi-unit restaurant chains, and really large national accounts. And so that business has really slowed down. When you look at what we were doing, let's say in March, we've definitely seen a decline in March or end of March, April. We're seeing some orders being pushed out in May. We do think that there'll be a surge coming sometime in June, but it's definitely impacted our business. And then the same thing on the ingredient side. So, if we're producing caramels and batting and breaders for some of the industrial side and or national accounts, that we've seen slow down as well. And we think we're going to see a surge come sometime in June. But I think that's the important thing for companies when they do have the different segments and the varieties of products that they're selling, is that sometimes when there's a trend that declines in one segment, and then you have another, uptick in another segment, it's really important to be diversified. I will say that, this is a much different situation than just a trend declining, but, I think it does help provide a better business situation when you are diversified.
Wow. Sorry, Evan, did you have a question?
No, you can continue, Jeff.
Well, time is always short. We've been speaking with Kourtney Corcoran, CFO, Concord Foods. This is the FEI segment. So my co-host is the one and the only Evan Macedo, also at FEI. And I'm glad of our FEI segments because I think people are going to want to hear from CFOs more this year than ever before. They've become such a critical element to the survival of our business. My last question, you must be feeling a lot of pressure, Kourtney. A lot more than you would have in previous jobs. Can you talk a little bit about how you'd sort of deal with that and manage that on a day-to-day basis? Stress has become an ongoing discussion with almost every executive I know.
Absolutely. I mean, it is. And, I think it's important to really just step back every day and say, what is it that needs to get done today? What is it that we can do to put our employees first? And when you put things in perspective and really think through, what's going on in the world and what's going on in our company, I think that making sure that, everything that you do is really about the employees and about the safety of, your family and the folks that you work for, really kind of puts things in perspective every single day. So when you're getting wrapped up and you're having all these deadlines, you can get really stressed out, as you said. But if you really step back and think about the things that are really important, I think it just provides, a more peaceful way to deal with all those stressors on a day-to-day basis.
No, Thank you for helping us with that, because I think everybody's looking for new ways to cope. And I have my own system. I got interviewed yesterday for an hour, and I went through my six-step process for taking care of myself during this time. Kourtney, if someone wants to find you or Concord Foods, how would they do that?
Well, we have a website, concordfoods.com. They can reach me by email, kcorcoran@concordfoods.com. They can also go on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. I follow it, I post in it. And so that's how they can find me. And if anybody wants to reach out to me at any time, I'm available. And I'd love to hear from people.
I actually would have to say that that's true. Every time I reach out to you, I hear back from you right away. So you're one of my favorites. And Evan and Macedo, if anybody's looking for you, not just at FEI, but at Sapers and Wallach, clearly an authority, how would they find you? Especially the CFOs who want to talk about FEI.
Absolutely. I'm doing calls almost every single week with my network, but I'll just give you my direct line. It's 617-715-0131. Or if you go on to our Sapers and Wallach website, you can find our information there. But if anybody is looking to just talk about what's going on with their business or figure out, how they can get through this crisis, feel free to give me a call, and I would love to talk to you.
And remember, everybody, that in this economy, we're still more people working, more companies working than not working. And we're trying to keep the economy going, keeping people employed, paying our taxes. And, remember, in this economy, it's more important to pull together than to pull apart. And these are two people, I think, who set that example for me. And I want to thank them for being on the show. And we're looking forward to our next segment.